Hello. Hello, everyone, and how are you all doing today on this fabulous Friday? Welcome to Fridays, 11 a.m. Talk with Angel Charmaine. This week we've been talking about authenticity and leadership, and so I welcome you all to come on into this space and chop it up just a little bit with me as we wrap for the week. I'll see you all back here, God willing, on Monday. We do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as often as I can. And I take a break on the weekend. I think that's an old school teacher thing. It is very difficult for me to work on the weekend. After 20 years in education and not working or, not uh, traditionally working, if you will, on the weekend, I really do not care for working on the weekend. So I show up here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, I take some time off for myself. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome to Friday's 11 a.m. Talk with Angel Charmaine. Let me know if you all can hear me because I just connected my mic. I want to make sure that you can hear me. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing this Friday? So I'm just going to take a few minutes at the beginning to say hello to those of you who pop on early before I get into this conversation. It is so good to see you. Good to see you. I want to shout out Rachel Branch right now. She is the owner of Budget Breakers, and Budget Breakers is the newest table sponsor for the Speak Up Sis, the third annual Speak Up Sis Awards that will be taking place on Sunday, September 7th, 2025, in the beautiful Garden City of Augusta, Georgia. So I want to give a personal shout out and thank you to Miss Rachel Branch. She is also the awesome author of I Win, You Lose. It's a book about how she overcame some hard things in life. So if you all are not already acquainted with Rachel Branch, I highly recommend that you connect with her as an author, but especially as a financial expert, because listen, we need to do better with budgeting, the way the economy is going right now. Many of us need that type of support. So I want to give Rachel that shout out and let the rest of you know that she is an awesome resource. So get at her. If you're not already following her on Facebook and her social media platforms, make sure that you do that. So Rachel Branch, the owner of Budget Breakers, thank you so much for being one of our exclusive table sponsors for the third annual Speak Up Sis Awards Gala. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you are watching, y'all already know how we do it here. We do not lurk. Leaders, authentic leaders don't lurk. We don't sit on the outskirts and watch what's going on. We come in and we make connections and we build community. So I welcome you to come on into the room. Come on in the room. Y'all haven't heard me sing my song in a while. Come on in the room. It's Friday. It's Freedom Friday. It's Forgiveness Friday. It is Forget 'em Friday. Like whatever Friday you want it to be is yours today. So I'm spending just a little extra time at the beginning of our chat just to bring a little life to you all. Yesterday I was dealing with some menstrual migraines, y'all. I just could not. I just like let me get this message in and let me get out of here. Today I am feeling so much better and back to myself. And so I thank you all for bearing with me this week. This week was a hard week for me, but I bless the Lord. I am back to myself on this Friday. Good morning, Deborah Jefferson. You know I've got to shout you out, Deborah, because today is Deborah Jefferson's birthday. Happy, no, we don't do that one. We don't do that one. We do happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. That's for you, Deborah Jefferson. Listen, I only sing to my favorite people on their birthday. Okay, so happy birthday. You even got some sparkles today during the live. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. All right, everybody. Yes, and you got fireworks. Go ahead. Look at you. Sparkling, you got fireworks today. So listen, we want to make sure that you get your birthday off to a great start. I definitely want to make sure that you all get connected with Deborah Jefferson. She is also a self-published author. She is our author showcase in our 2025 spring edition of Speak Up Sis magazine. The release of the magazine is tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that you are connected to the Speak Up Sis YouTube channel as well as Speak Up Sis magazine Facebook page. We are going to do a cover reveal and digital release of the 10th edition of the Speak Up Sis magazine, which is our 2025 spring edition, and Deborah Jefferson will be in our author spotlight. So make sure that you all check that out. Deborah was also one of our regular columnists for the 2024 Speak Up Sis magazine edition. So she is all wrapped up in Speak Up Sis, and it is a beautiful thing for me as a leader to see her growing in the space. She's ebbing and flowing and moving and building her own space as well. And I am excited to be a part of your journey, sis. So if you all are not connected to Deborah Jefferson, make sure that you connect to Deborah Jefferson right here. Do you see her? She's right there. She is a shaker and a mover, and she's doing big things. And just shout out really quickly to the Our Words Matter Black Author Expo. She hosts. Last year was her inaugural year. She's doing it again this year for the second annual. So if you would like to be a part of that, you all need to go ahead and get connected to Deborah Jefferson so that you can be a part of that. I was a featured author last year, and Speak Up Sis Bookshelf was a sponsor last year. And we are looking forward to potentially doing that again this year. So y'all go ahead and get connected. Hello. Oh my goodness. Y'all listen, we are going to get to what we're talking about today. Just let me say, for those of you who are brand spanking new in the space, I show up here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Talks with Angel. And this week we've been talking about authenticity and leadership. And that's what we're going to finish up today. And today's topic is becoming the leader you needed. Becoming the leader that you needed. And we are going to get into that topic. It is Friday. It's Freedom Friday. It's Forget It Friday. It's Forgiveness Friday. It's all that Friday. So I just want to take a few moments to make sure that I say hello to you all, to welcome you all, and do all the things, okay? And then we'll get into it. You all know my talk is going to be short, a quick 20, 30 minutes, and we'll be out of here. Shout out to Ulrika Bailey. Thank you so much for joining. I know that you are new to the Speak Up Sis community, new to this page. Ulrika is one of our third annual Speak Up Sis Awards finalists. So you all are going to be seeing her name and her face plastered all over Speak Up Sis magazine, social media, as well as Angel Wright social media. You're going to start seeing her. So if you're not already connected to her, go ahead and connect to her today so that you can see what she is all about. We will be announcing those finalists really soon. So go ahead and get acquainted with her. Eureka, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're able to sit and take some time to talk with us today. Okay. Yes, you are, Deborah. Deborah says, I'm all up through Speak Up Sis, and she's staying. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and get into what we're talking about today. If you are, whatever platform you're seeing this on, welcome, 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 and good morning to you wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And today we're going to be talking about becoming the leader you once needed, right? And we're going to talk about how authenticity plays a key role in that journey. We all have been in a place where we were being led by someone, whether it was a supervisor, a manager, whether it was a teacher, whether it was a pastor, whether it was a parent, right? Whether you were in some type of group, a dance group, a cheer group, whatever. But we have all been in situations where we have been being led by someone and they didn't really lead the way we needed them to lead, right? They did not show up with authenticity, vulnerability, honesty, transparency, right? They did not do that. And so it impacted us. It had a negative impact on us as a follower, as someone growing and learning. And it also, I'm sure, impacted the way you saw and understood leadership. And so today I want to wrap up our week by talking about you becoming the type of leader who leads with authenticity that you once needed. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me see who's in the building. Okay. I see Deborah. Deborah, I see you letting all the people know that we are here today. Thank you so much for tagging. You know what to do. You know what to do. See, Deborah has been here long enough. She knows that we share this space with others, especially people who are that you believe would benefit from what is served up in this platform. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the first thing that I want to share with you all today. And the first point that I want to make today is I want to ask you, what did you need? What did you need? All right. Do you mind talking to me just a little bit today? Can you put in the comments for me when you were being led by someone else? And many of us are, and we all, I'm sure, at some point or in some respect, are still being led. But I want you to think about what you needed from a leader that you didn't receive. I want you to write in the comments, because the first thing we're going to talk about is that it is important for you to reflect on what you once lacked in a leader. So if you don't mind, drop some of those things in the comments. Let's take a look at them. Let's chop it up together. I see you all are inviting some folks into the space. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm giving you all a moment to really think about that and to drop some of your responses in the chat. Okay, I see Deborah. Deborah says understanding. I, oh my goodness, Deborah. You know you're gonna need. I need you to give me some. I need you to expound on this one, because I could go for days on leaders who lack understanding. So expound on that in the comments for me and let me know specifically, when you reflect on it, what type of understanding did you need them to have? Understanding about what? Specifically to you. Ulrika says, an ear to listen and good communication, public announcements. I am currently in the hospital following a procedure. Okay, got you. Yes. So here we go. Leaders who are unable to listen. A lot of times people don't realize that communication is not just about disseminating information, right? Writing newsletters and talking on shows and talking. But a part of communication is being able to be an effective listener, to be able to hear what it is that people have to say to you, and then not just listen, but listen with empathy. And like Deborah said, with understanding, even with compassion, right? So definitely I know I have had leaders who were not good listeners, not good listeners at all. And I just want to say that we pray for you right now, Eureka, in the mighty name of Jesus. I thank you, Lord. I'm going to just put Eureka's name up there with you right now, that you will continue to heal her, Lord, that she has swift recovery from whatever procedure that she's having, Lord God, and that her health, Lord God, is that she's all well in her health, in her body, in her soul, in her spirit. We thank you right now in the mighty name of Jesus. All right. So listen, you can't put stuff like that in the chat if you don't want no prayer. Because we stop and pray up in here, sis. I pray that you are well and that you have a full recovery from whatever procedure you are having. Okay, so Deborah says, just acknowledging my point of view and showing some sort of understanding and compassion. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what? It requires people to see themselves. In order for me to hear and respond to you compassionately, I must take a look at myself. I must reflect on what it feels like to receive compassion. I must, at some level, remember what it feels like for someone to have not responded to me compassionately, in order for me to be willing to hear you and to understand you from that perspective. And that's what we're talking about today. Absolutely. Eureka says, a leader that had the mindset to continue to grow. Don't get me on having a teachable spirit as a leader. Whoo! So many leaders lead from a place of, I have arrived, like I'm the boss, right? I'm bossy. I'm the boss. This is my stuff. This is what I do. We're doing it this way, right? But the best leaders are servant leaders who still have a teachable spirit, who understand that they can learn from other people who are even subordinates to them. You understand? So even though I am leading, I definitely am able to learn from the people who are following and learning, as well as those that I'm following, right? So absolutely, having a mindset where you continue to grow and continue to learn. Rachel says, being valued as a part of a team. Oh, goodness. I know y'all have been under leadership where it's I. And I remember hearing years ago, I'm sure it's still said, that there is no I in team. There is no I in team, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think we get it. I think we get it, right? So that first point, it's important that you reflect on what you needed. Reflect on what you once lacked from leadership. Great leaders often lead best when they become what they once needed. We needed a voice, right? We needed a guide. We needed an advocate. I didn't see anybody say that, right? Have you ever had a leader who would not stand up for you? They knew you were right. They knew that what you did, what was spot on. They knew that whatever the situation was, that you did not do anything wrong. But when it came to speaking up for you and advocating for you, that ain't my business. I'm a mind the business that pay me. Listen, I don't want a leader who talking about I'm a mind the business that pay me when it comes to advocating for me when I'm right. I remember needing a leader who would stand up and say, "No, Miss Wright did the right thing." And I can honestly say that as a teacher, I had several principals who were willing to do that. When we sat in those parent teacher conferences and those parents got to acting up about them kids that was acting up, I can honestly say that I had leadership, I had department chairs, and I had principals who would sit at the table and say, "No, no, 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 no. Now I hear what you're saying, Mom, but Miss Wright, she does A, B, C, and D. Miss Wright is always involved with A, B, C, and D. I hear what you're saying. However, we stand behind what Miss Wright has done because we watched her, right?" So I remember needing and having leadership that advocated for me as well. That was really, really important for me. And so now, as a leader, because that's something that I needed as a teacher, right? And it is something that I received sometimes and sometimes I didn't. Now, as a leader of a community, I advocate for the people in the community. When I see that you're doing right, when I see what it is that you have going on, listen, folks will tell you, I was just on a TikTok about Dr. Latoya Jeter, author Latoya Jeter. Somebody wrote some old wild, said something wild about. And listen, I was right on over on my TikTok. Like, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to advocate for this self-published author that I know personally to say yada yada yada. So even in my capacity right now, being someone who leads other authors, someone who presents people before a full community in the world, I still operate in a place of advocacy. And I think it's very important that leadership not only provide a voice and guide, provide a listening ear, a compassionate heart, an understanding soul, but that they advocate for the people they serve as well. So reflection creates empathy and it allows you to be a better leader. So, if you are working on becoming the leader that you once needed, the first thing I am definitely going to encourage you to do is to think about what you needed in leadership and what was lacking. Okay. Then I want you to write down. Here's the work, because we never talk about problems without solutions and how we can get to where we want to be, right? So, how do you work on this? Y'all know I'm big on self reflection, I'm big on introspection. So, I want you to write down 3 leadership qualities that you once wished you had received, and then let those guide how you lead today. When you're thinking about what your personal principles are for leadership, what are the pillars or the tenets of your business going to be as you lead? I want you to sit down and actually write out what are 3 leadership qualities or characteristics or traits that I once needed that I didn't have, that I'm going to allow to lead how I lead. Got it? All right. We're gonna move on because y'all know let me see. No, I'm not Oh, I haven't even hit my 30 minutes yet. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I did all that helloing and helloing at the beginning. So I want to make sure that I don't hold you all too long after 30 minutes. All right, good. Deborah says, great tips. I am glad that these are helpful for you today. Yes, Deborah says vulnerability, compassion, and encouragement. Those are great pillars to have, principles to guide your own leadership. If you all ever go to speakupsis.com, you'll see that I have principles that lead Speak Up Sis, things like integrity and honesty and vulnerability. I am huge on integrity. You all already know that. As a leader, I am big on integrity. I get so tired of being connected to leaders who are not integral, people who do not honor their word, people who do not show up when they say they're going to show up. And then when they are unable to, they don't feel like they need to address it. They don't feel like they need to say anything about it. Like, I have an issue with leaders who lack integrity. So one of my principles that help to guide my leadership is to be a leader with integrity. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. If I can't be there, you're going to know it. You're going to know in advance, and I'm going to find a way to make it right for you. That's just the way that I am. If I say that it's going to happen, then it's going to happen. That if I'm going to show up for you, I'm going to show up for you. I try my best not to say that I'm going to do something that I have no intention to do, that I have. And what I have learned is that if I don't want to do something, as a leader who leads with integrity, I just will say, I don't want to do it. I'm not interested in doing that. That doesn't fit my values. That doesn't fit what it is that we do. I don't think this is a good connection. I don't think this, right? I'm going to let you know straight up that I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. It's not going to happen. to me, that is also leading, is not just showing up for what you say you're going to show up for, but leading with integrity also says that I'm okay with opening up my mouth to say I'm not going to participate in things that don't align with who I am as a leader. And that is okay as well, because people know what they're getting when they come to you, and they know what they're not getting. So for me, I totally understand, right? Setting these principles. And so vulnerability is one that I lead by, compassion as well as encouragement too. So those are all good. I like that Rachel says support, transparency, and trust. Absolutely. We are all in the same vein here. Yes. Transparency is actually, let me see, right there. Transparency and trust are the principles that two of the principles that I lead with as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Eureka. She says good information. We got trustworthiness, positive energy. Oh my goodness, Eureka, that's a good one. I'm glad you have that one. I know we have all been connected to leaders who are like Debbie Downers, right? They drab every day, they're complaining every day. You're like, come on, baby, I need you to get it together. Get it together. Yay, right? Get the team ready, get everybody excited. So I love that positive energy and mindset as well. And being humble and grateful. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am reading a book currently. Um, I am currently reading a book. I don't want to give y'all the wrong name of the book. You know, I like to share the books that I read with those of you who are interested. The title of the book that I am currently reading is called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And it is about why some companies make the leap and others don't. It's about why some companies were just good companies and they made a leap to being great companies. I'm actually reading it to help me to move Speak Up Sis into another dimension, right? But one of the things that they're talking about is one of the factors that move good companies to great companies is what they call level 5 leadership. Level 5 leaders are there are lots of things that make, or a few things that make these level 5 leaders, but the one thing that differentiates the level 4 leader and the level 5 leader is the leader who leads with humility, and have a keen focus on ensuring that the company does well over him or herself. And so being a humble leader is a part of being a level 5 leader. And so I like that. I like that. So just in case you want, just in case you're interested, you know, I'm always down for giving y'all tips on good books. Um, Good to Great by Jim Collins, Collins, is the name of the book that I am currently reading. And for me as a business owner. So feel free to check that out if you're interested in it. Tamika says, I'm here, although I know you're close to it. Actually, I'm not close to the end, sis, because I came on today on this Friday and I was greeting everybody and doing all the hellos. Today is Deborah Jefferson's birthday, so make sure you give her a shout out. So I just finished up point number 1. I still have 2 and 3 to go. So you are in the sweet spot. But no worries, Tamika, you are a subscriber, so you'll have access to the replay anyway. So no worries for missing number 1. Good morning, Chanel. How you doing? Thank you so much for popping in today. I appreciate you. Tamika, listen, sis, listen. All week I have been dealing with menstrual migraines, and I've had, to go to the doctor this week, and I just had all kind of stuff going on. So I haven't been myself, but I awakened this morning, honey. And I'm in my right mind. I got a reasonable portion of my right mind. I'm not in no pain, honey. Hey. So y'all getting the glowed up positive energy, feeling good. Freedom Friday, sis, today, okay? All right, everybody, let's move on. We're going to go on to point number 2 that I want to make today. The second point that I want to make today is that you want to be what you needed. So you don't just want to reflect on what you needed. It's one thing to think about it, to reflect on it, to be introspective. Another thing is to actually put it into action. We always talk about what we wanted. Oh, I wish they was like this, or I wish they were like that, or I wish I had this. But then we find it very difficult to actually be what it is that we wanted. So the second point, I want you to move beyond self-reflection. I want you to move beyond thinking about what you needed. And I want you to move into a place of action, because y'all know how I feel about action. Do it. Immediate action. Immediate action is important. I actually teach a workshop that's called Make It Happen. It's the Make It Happen workshop. And one of the things that I talk about is taking immediate action. So I am talking to you all about becoming the leader that you once needed. And I want you to actually do some things. That's why every day we talk, I give you action steps. I give you stuff to do, 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 do. I don't want to talk about problems without solutions. And I don't want to talk about problems and solutions if we're not going to act. Right? It's just time wasted. We're not actually going to be what it is that we need. So the second point, I want you to lead others the way you wish you had been led. It's really simple. It's really simple. Whenever I hear people saying things like, my dad wasn't in the house, and my mama this, and I'm like, baby, you're 30 years old. Okay, you're 30. You know what I'm saying? You're 45. Come on. I don't want to hear that you can't be a leader in your own household and love on your children because you never received love. At some point, you got to make a decision to be what you needed. Understand? And you all know I lead from a place of vulnerability and transparency. And so I can share with you that as a mother, for a long time, I was not very maternal. I know, y'all are probably like, what, Angel? You always trying to mother somebody. Listen, that was not that wasn't me. That's not me. I am not a naturally maternal person. Like, I love the kids, but I love to not be around the kids too. You understand? And I knew that about myself. And being an overcomer of childhood SA, I didn't like to be hugged. I really didn't like to be touched. I was like 6 feet, like, give me some space. You know what I'm saying? But when I became a mother, and here I'm going somewhere, y'all know I gotta build you up to where we're going, because I'm talking about becoming the leader that you once needed. And as a parent, you are a leader. You are a leader. And I knew that I was not naturally maternal. I wasn't real huggy, lovey, kissy. I wasn't like that. But I became a mom. And because I was able to be self-reflective and introspective, and I was able to be self-aware, I acknowledged that that's what I was like. And therefore, I knew I did not want my children to pick that up from me in my leadership as a mom. So I became what I wasn't naturally. And so I intentionally hugged them, even though there were times I would just be so exhausted, but I would show up and I would hug them and I would kiss them and I would, put lotion on they hit their arm or something, a hand. I'd be like, okay, you bruised your head. Like, yes, you want some lotion on, you want some cream on? I called it cream. I put some lotion. They'd be like, I did the things that I knew would produce good, healthy children. I became what I needed and what I didn't necessarily possess at the time innately. Right? So becoming the leader that you needed is going to require you to lead others the way that you wish you had been led, or in a way that maybe you don't think you possess the ability to lead, but you can. Leading others from a healed place. We talk about this all the time. You need to be leading from a healed place. We talked about this the other day. Many leaders are bleeding all over the people that they are leading. Those folks' knees and backs and shoulders are not strong enough to help you carry the weight of leadership. And so you cannot go into these places and overshare. We talked about authenticity versus oversharing yesterday. If you are one of the subscribers to this page and you missed authenticity versus oversharing, knowing the line, make sure you go check it out. It was a good talk yesterday. Many of us are leading from unhealed, broken places. And I see things like broken crayons still color. They do, but have you ever tried to color with a broken crayon? Let's talk. Let's just take. I know broken crayons still color. They absolutely do, but it is harder to color with them. You gotta peel back the paper because once it breaks, the paper is wrapped around it, so it doesn't color easily. You gotta take the paper wrapping from around it. You gotta sharpen it a little bit because it's all broken around. So you're gonna be coloring, it's gonna be chipping off and everything. So even though a broken crayon can still color, it still takes just a little bit of work to get it to operate the way a non-broken crayon would operate. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, you may be broken and all the things, but there's still a little work that needs to be done before you get out here talking about you coloring in people's lives. I mean, come on. So leading others from a healed place rather than a hurt place is going to transform how you show up. I promise you. It's going to reroute how you show up in people's lives. Are we tracking? Put a one in the comments if y'all tracking with me. Y'all still here? Hey, Tiana, how you doing, beautiful? It's good to see you. I see you doing all the wonderful things. Listen, girl, I was so caught up in that screen smiling when your church was honoring you um, for Autism Awareness Month. And girl, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Hello, Miss Leslie. How you doing, beautiful? It is so good to see your name pop up in the space. And I thank God that you are clearly you must be feeling better because I see you in the space. So it's good to see you. Thank you so much. I got a chance to talk with your sister the other day, and when I tell you, I thought I was talking to you. If y'all don't have the same exact voice, it is so wild. She chuckles like you and everything. It's so interesting. Tamika says, yes, no excuses. At some point, you must decide what you don't want to be like or what you want to be like. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tiana, I know. I know. But you know what? Here's the thing, Tiana, what you all are witnessing. One, you're witnessing a saved woman, a transformed mind, and a renewed spirit. That's what y'all are seeing. You're seeing a woman with a clean new heart. That's what you're seeing. First thing, okay? Let me say that. I would be remiss if I did not say that that is what you are seeing. You're also witnessing a woman with a teachable spirit. I knew what I was like. I was willing to own my stuff, and I'm still willing to own my stuff. Those of you who know me personally, I am far more critical of me than anybody ever could. And folks will be saying, "Oh, and you did so well, and this is so great." And even like with the Speak Up Sis Awards, people will come and say, "Oh, it was so great, it was so wonderful." And my thought is, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." But I would like to know, what was there anything that you didn't like? Was there something that didn't go well? Right? Is there something you wish would have been there? Why? Because I am always in a place of wanting to operate in the spirit of excellence. And so, yes, I can receive wonderful, wonderful ideas and news and compliments at the same time. I know I'm not perfect. And so because of that, what y'all are seeing is a woman who said, I know that I got some issues and I don't want to pass these issues on to my children. And in doing the work to be a better mom for them, what I didn't know is that I was also doing the work to be an effective leader, for what I do now. So I bless the Lord. I give God all the glory because what y'all are seeing is Him. You're seeing his work right now. You're seeing his workmanship, honey. Glory. And I see all the ones too. So that means that y'all are tracking, y'all are here with me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So let's get on back to it then. So that second point is be what you needed. Okay? Be what you needed. When you operate from a healed place instead of a hurt and broken place, it's going to shift your focus from self protection to service to others. When you move from self protection, when you move from being guarded, when you move from having to put all these walls up around you to protect your own heart, protect your own self, right? Vulnerability is the ability to be authentically you, knowing that hurt and offense may come, but you're still willing to show up as yourself, right? But when you put up all these defense mechanisms, you build all these walls around yourself, you lead with a representative, right? Instead of authenticity, you are more concerned about self protection, protecting your own self, than you are serving others. And that's an issue. Leaders who lead based on, or leaders who lead from a place of protecting me, I got a CYA. Before I do anything, I got a CYA. Before I advocate for you, I got a CYA. I got to make sure that before I stand up for you, that I ain't gonna lose my job, right? Before I'll be a voice for you, I got to make sure, right? I'm not gonna show up for. look, look at Meta agreeing with what I'm saying. Okay, Meta, I see you. I see you. I see you. So leading others the way you wish you had been led is going to require you to get healed, to work through that healing process, so that you're not leading from a self-serving place, but that you are being a servant leader to others. All right, excellent. So let's move on to our last point of the day, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Authentic leadership is legacy leadership. Let's get into it. Authentic leadership is legacy leadership. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Good afternoon. Thank you so much for speaking. Hello, Rochelle Simpson. Top 5 of keeping your leadership team accountable. Always make sure your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. You better do it. You better say it. You better say it. I love that. Always make sure your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, goodness. Y'all, I got so excited. I almost forgot to give you all your second action step of the day. So I'm gonna backtrack. Leading others the way you wish you had been led. Here's your second action step of the day. I want you to take one of those things from that reflection list. The reflection list, remember for the first one, I told you all to write down 3 leadership qualities that you once wished that you had received, and then let them guide how you lead. Well, the second action step, I want you to take one of those things that you reflect on, and I want you to actively demonstrate it with someone you lead or you influence. This is the action step. If you are brand spanking new to this page, just really quickly, my name is Angel Charmaine Wright. I'm the owner of Speak Up Sis LLC and the editor in chief of Speak Up Sis magazine. I'm also an authenticity coach. I have a program called Authenticity Unlocked, where I work with women, high achieving women who listen, who live these faux lives, FAUX. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. They live in faux, pretentious, fake lives, and they are ready to live in a place of authenticity. So I come into this space 11 a.m. Monday through Friday just to share some tips and nuggets and wisdom with you all about living an authentic life, just in case you're wondering who I am, what I'm doing, and what is this all about. All right. I also, my latest work is called Sit With You for a Minute, Sis. It is a self reflection, workbook, and it's a 31-day self-reflection workbook. So this is what I do. I love doing it. And just in case you were wondering who I am and why I'm having these conversations. And this week we've been doing like a little mini series on authenticity and leadership. All right, just in case you were wondering. So that second action step, I want you to take one thing from your reflection list and actively demonstrate it with someone that you lead or influence. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the last point for the day before I let y'all go. Authentic leadership is legacy leadership. That's a tongue twisting, tongue tying. So when we talk about legacy, we're talking about beyond your life, right? Beyond where you are in the land of the living. When we talk about legacy, we're talking about what are you leaving for posterity? What are you leaving for posterity's sake, right? And I know a lot of people think about legacy in terms of their children. We're talking about generational wealth and all this other kind of stuff. But legacy is not just about how your family how your family thinks of you or how your children are going to think of you, but how do you want to be remembered by your peers? How do you want to be remembered by colleagues? How do you want? I remember. Let me see which one of the books. Lisa Nichols' first book. It's on the top of my brain. Not Abundance Now, but the first one. Anyway, I read it years ago, and I remember one of the things that she wrote about, something for you to reflect on in that book, was to think about how, like, what do you want people to say when you leave, when you are in the grave and folks get up to the podium to talk about you, to think about what you want a family, like, how would you want your family? What would you want your family to say about you? What would you want coworkers, people who worked alongside of you, to say about you? What would you want like a stranger to say about you? And what would you want like a mentee to say about you? Have you ever thought about that? When we talk about legacy, we're talking about how you're going to be remembered in history. What side of history are you going to be on for people? You understand what I'm saying? So authentic leadership is legacy leadership. Why do I say that? Because authentic leaders are remembered not just for what they accomplished, but for who they were. Not just what they did, which is one of the things I absolutely love about the Speak Up Sis Awards. What Elroy said, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to honor women. It was about, I don't want you to create something that tells them they're the best of something. I don't want you to tell them that they're the peak of whatever. But I want you to let them know that I care about how they do what they do. Some people are saying, oh, my children graduated from this school and did this, and oh, they got this job and they did that, and oh, I'm a this or the that, I'm the pastor, reverend, doctor, potentate, whatever. Okay, great. But what do people say about you, pastor, reverend, potentate, doctor, scientist? What do people say about you when you walk off? How do you make people feel? Maya Angelou, my favorite. If you ever get an email from me, you'll see the quote. It's one of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you make them feel. As an authentic leader, you want to be concerned about how you make people feel. What do they think about you beyond what you did for them? Because there are some folks who do nice things all the time, but they're not kind people. And I tell folks all the time, there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Folks are like, hi, Angel. And as soon as they walk off, I'm forgotten. They don't even care. People are nice, but they're not kind. Kindness is a fruit of the spirit, not niceness. There's a difference. There's a big difference, people. Are you a kind leader? Are you a compassionate leader? Are you a caring, thoughtful leader? Are you a servant leader? What kind of leader are you? Because that is what is going to make you a legacy leader. How people think about you. Legacy is not what you created, what you built. Oh, I built this, I established this big empire, and we had 10 buildings, and we own 100 acres of land, and I got every award. Every time I was up for an award, I got the award. And legacy is not about achievement, legacy is about impact. How impactful are you in people's lives, in the community around you, outside of the comfortable community that you're in? How do you impact people who don't know you? That's a good one. Those four people I asked you to think about when you're gone, what would they say about you? What would strangers say about you? People who met you for the first time, people who bumped into you for some whatever reason, and they met you, and then you happened to be gone the next day. What would they say about you in that chance meeting with you? Because I don't believe anything is happenstance. I believe we meet people for a reason. And how you impact them is important. Most people have no idea the accomplishments and the things that I've done in my life. You know why? Because I don't leave from that place. None of those things make none of those things really qualify me to do what it is that I do. It doesn't. None of the accolades, none of the achievements. Many of you will be very shocked if I were to roll out the resume of things, but I don't. Why? Because none of that matters. None of that. I don't care what's on the front of your name, at the end of your name. I don't care what's on your building. None of that matters if you are not positively impacting people. When they walk away from you, they just feel better. They just are better. They just are lighter. What kind of leader are you if people leave from your space worse off than when they approached you? Are y'all tracking? Put a one in the comments if you're tracking. Y'all get quiet sometimes. Let me see what we talking about. Yes, Rachel says I'm interested in impact versus titles. Yes. Absolutely, Bobby says this holds true in business, family, and personal relationships. That's right. We talked about this at the beginning. Leadership is not just about being a C-suite person or being an entrepreneur running a company or being the pastor of a church, right? You lead in your own home. If you're a parent, you're a leader, right? If you are a mentor, you're a leader. Like, we lead at some capacity. We all are leaders at some capacity in our lives, and all of these things, all of these tips are suitable, and they hold true for any type of leadership. Absolutely. Hey, certified CEO clothing. What's up? How you doing? Legacy is not about achievements, it's about impact. That's right. Ask yourself, who have you impacted through your leadership? Who have you impacted? Who talks about you without you having to ask them to talk about you? Are there people in this world who, when they're sitting down talking about whatever you're known for, do they say, you know what? Oh my goodness, you gotta meet so and so. My goodness. There's one young lady, I always call Kima's name because Kima is the woman who that God sent to me to help me see impact early on. And her coming into my life help guide how I led other women. Understand? And when I met Kima, it was during a time when I was doing Facebook Live 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was teaching biblical principles constantly, Monday through Friday. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. I was up and I was teaching. I'd be teaching for hours. And Kima came along, and I remember her sending me a message, and she was like, she wanted to say the sinner's prayer, and she wanted to be saved and all this kind of stuff. And so as we began to talk and go back and forth with one another, I asked her some questions, just some basic questions. A lot of people are so concerned about the achievements. We got 15 people saved today, but ain't nobody's life changed. You know what I'm saying? Achievements versus impact. They get saved, but their life don't change. That's achievement versus impact. Oh, we had 200 souls get saved, but are 200 souls still living for Christ? Like, there's a difference between achievement and impact. So this woman comes in and she's wanting to do something, but the Spirit of the Lord is like, something's off. So we began to talk, and I began to ask her some questions. And what I realized is that she didn't even fully understand what she said she wanted to do. She's like, I want to be saved. Well, she didn't even understand that. She still had questions about whether the crucifixion was real, or, whether the Immaculate Conception was real. And the truth is, I had to tell her, like, sis, it don't matter whether it really doesn't matter if you do the sinner's prayer or not right now, if you don't actually believe what you about to confess. So this is what I want you to do. And Holy Spirit gave me what to say to her in order to get her to a place where she could have impact from the Spirit of the Lord. And to this day, when I tell you that woman, listen, she more on fire and bold for the Lord than I am. I watch her sometimes like, goodness. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, I have drawn 50 souls to the Lord, but none of their lives are changed. I'm talking achievement versus impact. I love Kima because the Lord allowed through her to show me what it looked like to positively impact someone's life in a way that they would change, versus just being able to say, I got a new follower. It's important. It's important. It's important. Okay. So yeah, that's a good one. That was a good one. Thank you, certified CEO. Yes. Who said that? Wait a minute. Who? The morning show for believers. That's what we call it. That's what it was called. Yes, let's see. I'm interested in what value I'm adding to those I'm growing versus what habits I'm showing. Oh, Rochelle, you got it going on. I absolutely love your comments. Rochelle says, I'm interested in what value I'm adding to people versus the habits that I'm showing. Oh, that's good. Thank you for sharing. Hey, Miss Vicky, how you doing? Thank you for popping in today. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so this last point that we're talking about is authentic leadership, is legacy leadership. So y'all know my very last action step for y'all today. I want you to identify one leadership habit you want to be remembered for, right? One leadership habit that is going to help you create positive impact. Maybe that is being a better listener. Do you talk too much? Do you talk too much? When people come to you, do you feel prompted to give them solutions? Are you when someone comes to you with is the first thing you want to do is talk about where you've been, what you did, and what worked for you? Do you need to listen a little bit more? Is that a habit you need to hone that will bring about positive impact for other people? I don't know. You figure that out for yourself. That's going to require you to sit with you for a minute, sis or bruh, so that you can know yourself. I'm telling you, I've dealt with leaders who, as soon as you go to them with something, they got a story that tops your story. I'll just be like, oh gosh, you just had to make this about you. Like, this is about you. So think about that. Are you someone who maybe can show up as a leader a little bit more compassionate? I remember, oh, this is even hard to talk about sometimes, but I remember I used to have a difficult time really ministering to and helping women who had come out of uh, DV situations. In my mind, I was like, I can't understand it. I'd be like, Lord, I get it, but I don't get it. And it's not that I felt some kind of way about the women, it's just that I couldn't understand it. So it was really hard for me to come from a place of compassion and empathy because I guess I was a bit harsh. I came off, like you, like you need to figure this, because it came out in it came out. There ain't no other way to say it. I was not compassionate. I wasn't very empathetic. I wasn't very compassionate, and it wasn't because I thought something was wrong with the woman. It's because I didn't understand it. Let me tell you what had to happen. I had to I had to go through, and I guess I didn't have to, but I guess I did. The Lord allowed me to enter into a relationship with a verbally and emotionally abusive man. And after a year, I never really, I'd always been the not me girl. Don't try me. Try somebody, but don't try. That was always me. And I found myself in a relationship with a man who was verbally and emotionally abusive. And I remember being in it. And I mean, in some places that I just could not, being in situations that took me back to overcoming childhood SA. When a man with his words and his actions can take you back to how you felt as an abused child, that's an issue. Without ever putting his hands on you, that was an issue. I remember sitting in a place going, how did you get here? I was so embarrassed. I didn't even talk about it. And when I tell y'all, this is in my this is in my Speak Up Sis years. Just let me say that. I'm not talking about pre-Speak Up Sis. I'm talking about during Speak Up Sis. Catch that. I found myself going, how did you get here? You know better. Like, what would you tell a woman who was here? How are you here? Why are you here? And one day I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, now you understand. Now you can be compassionate. Now you get it. So now, whenever women come and they're talking about being in relationships where they are dealing with verbal abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, and things like that, even physical, listen, all of that, how you do it, how I don't understand that is not a part of my vocabulary, because I now cellularly understand how a woman can find herself in a situation like that. And I also know how she can get out of the situation, which allows me to lead from a place of empathy and compassion for her. Be careful. Be careful if you're not a compassionate leader and you're a believer, because the Lord will allow you to be in some situations that'll help you along in your leadership. So, that action step, I want you to identify one leadership trait that you want to be remembered for, and then begin practicing that daily. Practice it daily. Okay? And don't pick something that you do well. No, don't be that person. You need to look for a trait that you don't currently possess, or a trait that is really difficult for you to be consistent with. Work on that one. Okay? All right. And that is the last thing that I have to say today. Miss Vicky says, I know someone who, if you're telling her about your health problems, she always immediately starts telling you what she has. I know. I know, sis. And I'm gonna tell you that's somebody you just don't even want to talk to anymore. You're like, I got enough problems of my own. I came to you for a little bit of, a little bit of help to find a solution, and you gave me all your stuff, right? Yes, absolutely, Deborah. He will allow you to go through some things sometimes when you just don't get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rachel says, OMG, was it my ex-husband? We need no, girl, I don't think so. I bless the Lord. I came through that and I came through it, and I'm able to have a testimony about it. Absolutely. Deborah says, I never thought in a million years I would go through it. But when you do, you understand. So listen, everybody. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for tuning in today for our Friday. This is the end of the traditional work week, 11 a.m. Talks with Angel Charmaine. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me today. I know today we went longer than our 30 minutes, but it's Friday. And I made up for Wednesday because I had that doctor's appointment that went longer. So I just gave y'all Wednesday and Friday in one day. Thank y'all so much. If you are brand spanking new in this space, I pray that this will not be your last time joining us. We are here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, unless something else comes up. But I typically let you all know that I won't be on if I can't be here. This recording or this live broadcast, after a few minutes after I get off, it becomes a part of my subscription for those who subscribe to this page. So you want to be here if you're not one of my subscribers, and shout out to those of you who are. If you're not a subscriber, then you want to be here at 11 o'clock so that you can catch it all, take notes, get what you need, and glean. Or you can just become a subscriber, and then you have access to these videos for 30 days. And as a subscriber, there's a ton of these in the subscriber section of this page. So feel free to become a subscriber and check out the past 11 a.m. talks as well as other cool perks that I throw in there here and there from time to time. Don't forget, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to have the release, the cover reveal, and the digital release of the 10th edition of Speak Up Sis magazine. Can y'all see them back there? The 10th edition of Speak Up Sis magazine, our spring 2025. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the articles inside, listen. And for those of you who are regular readers of Speak Up Sis magazine, y'all have not seen Get to Know Her features in a while. Guess what? This edition, we have 2 get to know features in the magazine. So yours truly, I did some interviews for this particular one that I think y'all are going to absolutely love. You're going to get to meet some new people. We haven't done the interview features in a minute, but I added 2 to this edition. I know y'all are going to love them. So make sure, if you are not already subscribed to Speak Up Sis magazine, you can get a digital subscription for under $20. I think it's like $15.97. So if you go to speakupsismagazine.com, you can subscribe to Speak Up Sis magazine. You can get the print edition, or you can get the digital edition. Like I said, it is less than $20 a month. And as soon as a new magazine is released, it will be delivered directly to your email. So those of you who have digital subscriptions, tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, your digital subscription is going to drop right in your email box. So make sure that you have a digital subscription today so that you can get the next 4 Speak Up Sis magazine editions. And with that, y'all have an amazing Friday. I'll see y'all tonight on the Speak Up Sis magazine page. If you're not already following Speak Up Sis magazine on Facebook and Instagram, make sure you do that. And I'll see you all later. Good night.